half an hour away from New York State is a beautiful state. New York State looks a lot like Germany. Snow is just like Germany too. You had like 3 feet of snow up there sometimes. I remember I was working in the yard, and that's all I did for the whole 3 hours was shovel snow. Boy, that shit was a lot of good exercise. As a form of exercise, that's why I didn't mind. You know, but it's just like Germany. You know what I mean? It ain't no fun. It ain't nothing institutionalized. And I did everything possible. Wake up at 5:45. Morning. This ain't say with a loudspeaker. This is the 5:45. They cut the lights on and cut them back out. But then they do the count. Some CEOs, they ain't give a fuck. They would cut the lights on, and guys would be mad. Want to cut the lights out, and they be complaining. I used to be saying, I used to get up, man. That shit ain't. Made up my bed because I didn't have like sheets. Some guys would get their bed sheets mailed in. You know, I didn't want that. My sheets up and fold them up. But I did everything possible not to become girlfriends or females that I admired. Pass inspection. The only thing I had in my locker was they want to be the best dressed person in jail. Being in jail is just like being in the housing projects. The housing projects, if you grew up in the housing projects, it's just like being, you know. And I was up there I was up there in my 50s, so I ain't never want to get used to that shit, and I ain't never want to be cool and hang out with them guys anyway. You know, I ain't had no problems for the most part. And them guys up there like to watch. Anyway, they couldn't find nothing to watch, so they just channel surfing. So I jumped up and snatched the cord out. That day on, there was a couple of guys that didn't care for me. You know, you had gangs up there and shit, but they didn't care for me. And then I had one guy that was, you know, stealing out of my locker. And the way he was stealing out of my locker is because he used to be behind me when I opened and closed my locker. So he figured out my combination. And he started stealing out my locker. He stole my locker for 3 days. And the reason he got away with it, his name was Jermaine Mangrum, as a matter of fact. And I'm screaming his name out. He's probably a drug dealer up there in Albany somewhere. And the reason I'm screaming him out is because he did me dirty, so I'm gonna do him dirty. You know, but fuck him. So he was stealing out of my locker. And the reason he did that is because he knew my combination. Like I said, he was watching me. And you know, he was on the draft, meaning he was about to leave the jail soon. And he was going to another jail. So he knew it was the right time for him to steal out of my locker. He stole a pack of beans. He stole 3 packs of beans and I think an apple pie. You know. And the reason I got upset about it, the reason I'm upset now is because he got away with it. And I never thought it was him that was doing it. And the only reason he did it for 3 days, the reason he did it for them many days is because he was on the draft, like he was about to leave, like I said. And we had a snowstorm up there. So instead of leaving the day he was supposed to, he wanted to leave it 3 days later. But like I said, I never wanted to become institutionalized up there. And so after I did that in the TV room, them guys, a couple of guys didn't care about me. They was only gang members. But the thing I don't get about these gang member dudes and these inmates, the inmates be physically fit, in shape, lifting weights every day, and the COs be fat and out of shape. And the fat, out of shape COs will fuck you up when you get out of line, because they run the prison with an iron fist. So anytime an inmate talk back to a CO, the CO gonna pull his pin, and all the other COs gonna come to help him, and they're gonna fuck you up. They're gonna fuck the muscle-bound, in-shape inmate up. And the COs be fat and out of shape. And they'll take you in between the doors and fuck you up. And then they're gonna send you to the box. So everything you've been saving since you've been in jail, or the last time you was in the box, all your food, all your sneakers, all your clothes, back in the, when I first got there, was listening to music on tapes. They got tablets now. But all your tapes is gonna get thrown in the garbage or given away. I remember, like, cause when you go to the box, they usually come get your shit, and they'll let all the inmates pick in your shit and take shit. But if you was a gang member and you have friends, somebody might look out for you and take it and put it in their locker and just give it to you another time, if they can. But a lot of times the COs let everybody take your shit, take your music, take your sneakers, take all your food, and then you got to come out the box with nothing. So you can't win. So it's better not to even argue with the COs, because you're not gonna win. So me, I stayed in my lane. I ain't never get caught up in none of that shit. But like I said, for the most part, ain't nobody. The only time, I had a problem is when I the cord out of the wall and the TV went blank. And you had a couple of guys that didn't want to fuck with me after that. But I ain't care. Fuck them. Like I said, I don't care. Fuck them. But I was stupid not to stay up there another 10 years or another 5 years longer than I have to, and I'm free. I left a lot of guys up there. They want to be the baddest guy in jail. Let them. Fuck that. I don't want to be in jail. Like I said, being in jail is like being in jail is like going to a bad high school housing process. And I ain't want to be up there. Like I said, upstate New York is a pretty state, but ain't nothing. The biggest economy in upstate New York is nothing but jails. You got all them jails. You ask the average guy, like them guys that be going back, they can name all them jails. I ain't want to name them shits. Only one I know is Bear Hill, Clinton, Cayuga, and Coxsackie. I know those jails. Those ones I heard about. I never been to them. That's another thing guys do. You ask a guy, he been to jail, he start naming all the jails he been in. Then you have some guys be like, yo, this is the worst jail I ever been in. I be saying to myself, man, you crazy. Jail is jail. What the fuck you talking about? They be like, this is the worst jail I've been to. And then they start naming the amenities. This jail got 2 TVs. Oh no, this jail only got 1 TV. Other jails got 2 TVs. And then when guys cook on the stove, you have like 4 guys on one stove. You have 1 guy on each burner, and you having all these guys standing around the stove cooking. That shit ain't cool at all. That's why they say, how come you never cook? I don't want to cook. They be like, Blue, how come you never cook? I be like, because the food is already cooked. All you doing is heating it up. And if you know anything about prison food that you mail up there, it can't say keep frozen. So it can't say keep frozen. So you can't send raw food up there. The food is already cooked. All you're doing is heating it up or preparing it. You can send canned beans, canned chicken. Food in the can is already cooked. Everything in the can is already cooked. Canned beans. And they think they put that shit together and they think they be cooking. Like even on Thanksgiving, they take everything out the fucking can and put it together and think they cooking. I said, you niggas is celebrating the purge. That's what Thanksgiving was. That shit is the purge. What you thankful for? You thankful that you in jail? You niggas are fucking crazy. Thanksgiving. Other than that, it is what it is. I know I ain't going back. That's for damn sure. Alright, y'all, take it easy.